and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are? Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister at the Temple of Justice.
People's access to our money will put in the bank.
She said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
It's another top of the hour on conversation. You already know we'll do an open conversation. Open Conversation is a network flagship political platform through which trending political news, events, and stories are discussed through positive impact to the society. So this morning was taken off from Rivers State, where government formation seems to be taking center stage as Rivers State APC laments exclusion from federal government appointments. And in Bayelsa gubernatorial elections, the APC says, we are working together for Silva's victory. I don't know why anyone needs to know that. We'll find out later on the show. And in Tribunal, court dismisses Abga's suit against Wifuru. In all those states, a larger community contest. This state, Yahaya Bello's worst is better than his successor. This is coming from the SDP. And in Chicago State University, Atiku set to 5 fresh suits for Tinubu's academic records. Guess what? We got you covered. All you need to do is log on to our website, atlanticnetwork.tv, and you can watch us live right now. Or you can also log on to our app, ATN Live. If you don't have it, get to download one from the App Store, and you can watch us live. Or you can just go straight to Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, and you can watch us live right now. Do well to share to your friends because we have loads of very interesting political conversation coming your way this morning. You don't want to miss any of this. We'll be back to you after the break.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister at the Temple of Justice.
People's access to our money will put in the bank.
She said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Access to our money we put in the bank. She said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the Tonte. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
All right, good to have you back on the ATN Open Conversation. It's time for the conversations that seem to be open, politically speaking. But let's get to welcome Mr. Vincent Welly. Good to have you on ATN Open Conversations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nigerians.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good to meet you.
And now, you're meeting for the first time. That's
Yeah.
Mr. Bestseller, just to let
Bestseller.
you know. Oh, yeah?
Oh, is that a nickname or something? Or your
That's
real
his
name?
real name.
Bestseller.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Thank you.
And now, everyone, let's start from Rivers State. Architect Toye Cole of the APC, the governorship candidate of the APC in Rivers State, on Tuesday said the state chapter of the party is shocked to discover that President Bola Tinubu appointed former governor Yesowike and some card-carrying members of the opposition People's Democratic Party into his cabinet. Architect Cole, while speaking to newsmen after the meeting, said, "We can only urge the president and leader of our great party to do more for God's glory and the APC's good. This includes appointing our sons and daughters to key positions and other forms of empowerment of our members to cater for our faithful supporters who, despite the human and material losses they have encountered, remain long-standing in faith with the APC. The scale of violence and all sorts of ambushes we suffered were scary, but they didn't stop us. Not only were our gubernatorial flag bearer and other candidates not allowed to get materials from INEC to file their petitions at the tribunals after the elections on February 25th and March 18, 2023, our party also withdrew as a petitioner soon after we completed the filing process. But that has never happened in the history of Nigeria's major political parties. The party that sponsored our candidates pulled the rug beneath our feet when the party was needed the most. If the event described above, Toyeko says, shocked us a little, what happened next was card-carrying PDP members of Rivers State government appointments in our APC federal government left us completely confused and very upset. Those being rewarded, he said, are PDP members who spent a huge state resources trying to destroy APC in Rivers State since 2013 and failed, primarily because these loyal APC members here resisted them fiercely. They were with Ganduje in the meeting. So he said, Your Excellency would be shocked that as we address you in this meeting, the Rivers State chapter of the APT has no representation at any level of governance in our country. There isn't a single Rivers APC member appointed at any level of the federal, state, or local government. On his part, Ganduje said, I believe we have taken the right way to rebuild APC in Rivers State, the party that we know its history. So we assure you, the founding members of APC in the state, we know how much you suffer. We cannot allow your suffering to wither away like that. We will do our best to protect you. Compensation in politics is very important. We are taking this up for consideration, and I assure you we have your leadership. The gubernatorial candidate is here. The party chairman and other caliber of members are also here, he said. But I think with this, your determination to rebuild the party, we urge to create an even environment to keep your doors open so that those who left the party, no matter how big they are in another party, where they went for sabbatical leave, can come back to their original base. I find this particular narration very interesting. Let me start by saying that everything that architect Toyeko narrated in this piece and more that we didn't have the time to bring to form, interestingly, Ganduje is fully aware.
That's very correct.
So he came into office as party national chairman. Like I said, he came into a tactically divided party, as a matter of fact. So Rivers APC, Rivers State was one of the places we expected Ganduje to step in, exercise his authority, mend fences, and appointment. No, nothing was heard from him. Toye Cole and the APC stake had to go to him on a courtesy visit. So, okay, since he's like, you didn't pay attention, well, this is where we are. This is what is going on. I'd like to leave all of that at your feet right now.
Yeah, you know, like we've always said, that politics is a game of interest. And they know what happened. They're aware of what happened in River State when the APC voted for PDP and PDP voted for APC. And so because of that, the APC in the state lost, you know, the connection, you know, with the national APC. And because of that, the then governor had his way since he worked with the party. And just like Gandhi just said that loyalty, you know, is always rewarded. And so if Wike was rewarded, it was obvious that Wike, you know, delivered APC in River State, while the APC in the state voted for PDP. You can see. So that's what I mean when I say it's a matter of interest. It's a game of interest. And so they felt that APC in the state felt that Atiku will take their interest very high, or their interest will be protected by Atiku. And PDP in the state, led by Wike, felt that they be requesting for anything. But let's watch and see if they will reconsider and try to say they can rebuild the party in the state and move on. But of course, you know that the party in the state is even controlled by Wike himself. You know, he's controlling PDP and he's also controlling the APC. And for APC to pull out of the tribunal, is the height of it that the state APC pulled out of the tribunal, not supporting their candidate anymore. So it goes to show that the candidate lost, the support of the party. Judging from, what happened, in the presidential election and all of that. So the national president, the national chairman can instruct the state to pull out. That after all, the person who are fighting has supported us to win at the national level. It's a game, So that is why maybe they have not considered them for anything. But we hope that they will have a rethink and see how they can rebuild the APC.
The complaint is coming. I mean, how is it proper that they are bringing this to him now?
No, it's not. It's not too early. In politics, you need to state what you want from the beginning. In fact, before elections are won, they already shared the positions. And they already know who's going to get what and all of that. So, and they play along. So it's not too early. They need to send it early enough so that for the appointments, because I'm sure the president has not finished all the appointments. There are still parastatals, there are still boards and all of that, agencies of federal government that appointment has not been made so far. So they can still consider them. Are you with me? So it's not late at all. It is even very nice and early enough that he's doing this so that they can be considered in future, appointments. So it's okay. It's okay.
All right, let's look at what are the issues here. Like I said, one would expect that Gandhi will come in and step in and wearing the big shoe and say, hey, I'm standing here, everyone fall in line. Because now because it's informed, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. Even NDDC appointment has been given. And we know those who got the NDDC appointment, right?
He's also a member of APC.
But the other faction.
Well, it's APC, whether it's faction or not.
No,
but it's APC.
Prof, let us inform the people that the ones who got the appointment from NDDC.
I see APC members who are loyal to the federal.
Thank you.
Loyal to the federal.
That's the conversation I want us to have.
Yes, those ones are loyal to the federal.
Fingers have been pointed as if Wike hijacked the process and they were innocent and nothing was done. Because under their watch, this faction
walked.
People walked away from the party, joined the PDP, joined Wike while he was still the governor.
And worked for APC.
Nothing was done.
Yeah.
Under their faction, under their nose. Now, this same Wike, I want to understand, I'm saying this sometimes, why blame is being pushed. Oh, we're left out. During the campaigns, what did you do? Where did you stand?
Yeah.
Number one. Number two is this. The stakeholders who are crying out today, where were you when Wike fought for Tinubu to win election in the States?
So that's what I'm saying. That they didn't play any role.
Exactly. So now that we're making it look like Wike has taken over everything, Is that really the true picture?
No.
Could it also, the picture you may want to paint, which some of us know, could that also be the reason why Gandhi may be reluctant to mend fences? Because the way he just glossed over the whole thing and said, don't worry, and all of that.
But it's clearer, with the way he spoke, it's clearer that there's no interest. It's clear there's no interest.
Someone has to say it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There's no interest. You know, they lost the connection with the federal and worked against the federal. You know, the emergence of, Tinubu.
So is it safe to say that Wike saw
that opening
and filled the gap?
That's what he did.
Can we say that?
That's very clear.
So can we stop demonizing him for doing? He's a politician.
No, he has not done anything wrong.
Can we understand that he saw an opening and
decided to feel it and worked, to make sure that APC succeeded.
So if it's safe to say that with Gandaje's position, which is neither here nor there, is it clear that a message has been passed across to the...
But it's very obvious now. Yeah, so the other faction that didn't work for the federal.
So which of these factions is APC in Rivers State right now? Which of them is the main? Because some people have gotten up, but Antonio Kocha and his people are well secured.
Yeah, that's very correct. Because they worked with the federal. Because in the state, they were instructed not to vote for APC in the federal. And they voted... But
this is like a side talk, not an official...
Of course, now, it's as alleged. It's as alleged, that they voted for PDP. And the PDP voted for APC at the federal level. And so at the end of the day, that federal government, that federal structure, the government was formed. So how do you think you'll be there when you didn't work for the emergence? So it's obvious that they're getting what the result of what they did. And so there's no need to complain. For me, there's no need to complain.
Now, just before we leave this particular issue, something we also need to figure out. The lack of opposition in Nyesom Wike's 8 years was a major Achilles heel in governance in this state. Because he literally was a one-man soldier.
Are you sure there was no opposition? There were opposition.
No, I said lack of opposition in the same political party opposition.
There was.
There was an APC, but there wasn't a proper opposition.
There was.
Now, with the way, if there was...
Of course, you can remember the role Chris Fineboy played.
What are you talking about?
Chris Fineboy. He played that transpired.
I don't think we should be having that conversation.
But you said there was no opposition. But I'm telling you that there was a time when every action of the former governor...
We said there was no opposition. APC is neither here nor there. The PDP is in government in Rivers State.
The APC you're talking about is a factional one.
Prof, I don't know. They didn't call themselves faction.
But you said so. He said so initially.
Right now I'm saying they're neither here nor there. So because we don't know who is the APC, who is not the APC right now, because these people are not agreeing with these people. A set of people have been given appointments, a group has been left out. So we can't even know, we don't know if, with the word on the street said that they voted for the PDP during the election.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if the architect Cole's camp or faction, if they are in or out. So the point I'm trying to make is, considering where the APC has a major opposition in the state, where they are right now, worse than where they were during Governor Wike's tenure, are we going to see an opposition in Rivers State?
No opposition.
Going forward?
Opposition has been swallowed because if you watch the state ESCO of the party, it's working with the PDP in the state. And that's why you cannot hear anything. And so the current state chairman or acting chairman, I don't know what the status is. Of course, the former chairman was sacked by court, so and the current chairman
of the APC
in the state is already working with the PDP and also connected to the party at the center.
It's okay.
And so
note. The APC said the party was working together to ensure a landslide victory of its governorship candidate, Chief Timipri Silva, on November 11. The party, in a statement by Tamatare Zukumor, its assistant publicity secretary, said all APC stakeholders were remarks. Zukumor said the party forbade Diri from making further patronizing statements about the APC, adding, "One cannot dislike you and love your child. It is a futile, manipulative attempt at a Trojan horse." Politics, we might begin to say, as intricate as it is quite interesting because we bring everything, all that we can use. Everyone, brings it up on board. Now we have a situation on ground, sir, And I mean, how can we explain the politics that is happening in Bayelsa State right now? The politics is becoming quite personal, so to say. Is that okay?
Of course, you know that Diri would want to connect with the center. Any wise politician now will want to connect with the center so that I can continue to hold your place, you know, politically. And that's a political maneuvering that Diri is doing. So for him to say he shouldn't be talking that way, I don't understand. What does he expect of him as a sitting governor, you know, who wants to continue in power? And so he has to begin to say I can realign with the APC at the center so that, you know, you have a smooth sail. Because if the presidential might, you know, becomes available at the field, that will be very dangerous for him. He knows that. And so that's why he's trying to link to APC at the center. So because he wants to win. So whatever you know you can do to win, you go ahead and win it. As long as it's not, you're not using, you know, a strategy that will cause mayhem or not, that's not going to be constitutional, you know, in clinging to power. So if anything can be done constitutionally for you to win, you go ahead and do it. And if Diri has no other choice than to connect with the center, appeal with the style of Savor and all of that, have they mended fences? Have they brought those other, you know, factions together for them to win elections? So it's the winning of election in Bayelsa by APC is still very bleak. We are not too sure about that until they put their house together.
Now here is what I find interesting about all of this. And why are you coming to, why are you, okay, you are Professor Vincent Worley. He's Besala Jadamba. I'm Vivian. And why do I have to come and tell you that me and my family members are in peace? What was the need for that? If you are in peace, like you said, there are already factions. Have they fixed that? Yeah. So if they are in peace,
it's not by saying it.
It's not supposed to be obvious.
Yeah, it's not by saying it. It's by acting it. You know, politicians like making noise. For me, if I'm fighting you, I will talk to you.
Yeah, but isn't this deflecting from the main issue?
But that is what we are saying. It's not. This is not.
For instance, I'll give you a typical example. A report came out a few days ago talking about how the National Oil Museum that was flagged off by Timi Silva for his constituency while he was the Minister of State in February this year, how it has been overgrown by grasses, how nothing is really going on there. Now, one would think that this should be a wake-up call for the governor. For instance, the issue in Basambiri Nembe is a major concern, where some chiefs have had to run away. Now, that is also his territory.
Yeah.
Now, there are pockets of issues here and there where you have been accused of so much. Some even went to court. There are too many fracas around
the APC
and the candidate himself.
Yes,
that people are. In fact, Diri went to his place number and said, "See, these 3 rows, I built it for you. Your son didn't do anything
for you."
Now, there are critical issues that I think that a spokesperson for a governorship candidate should consign themselves with, which is
the
take responsibility for it. Yeah, but all of them are coming to trying to figure with all of these issues that he has. What exactly is okay? So,
you know, it's obvious that they have to talk this way, you know, to get or curry the favor of their masters. You know, they would like to massage their ego, you know, from time to time, leaving the issues and trying to say things that do not bother much, you know, on the image of, and begin to address what is not important. Factions together, so that they can, you know, confront the election wants to do, and so that he can support that person as a stakeholder. You know, at this point, he should be, you know, a statesman, a major stakeholder, you know, not to be presenting himself for elected position in the state as a former governor. That's what I think should happen now.
All right, sir. This looks like a trend with the APC, because if you take a cue back to what happened in Lagos State, you know, the governor that just did his first term, and he was also, you know, in quotes, asked to tender his, you know, to hand over to someone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that had declared Wifru of the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the March 2023 governorship election in the state. Displeased, Odo approached the court to overturn the Ebonyi governor's election on the grounds of non-qualified Okutepa San, that Wifru, who was until and after the election a member of the Ebonyi State House of Assembly and also to the seat of governor of Ebonyi State. Consequently, Abga and Odo urged the tribunal to nullify Mr. Wifru's victory on account of his non-qualification for the election. However, delivering judgment on the petition, the three-member panel headed by Justice Leko Ogunmoye held that the petitioners lacked the local standing to institute the action because the issue was an internal affair of the APC. We're still at it again.
Yeah.
How can we ascertain, how do we decipher which is legally strong enough to be brought as a case, okay, in court? I mean, before the tribunal. I'd like you to advocate to this, sir.
Yeah, obviously the tribunal has ruled that the petitioner lacks local standing to challenge the victory of Wifru, and that is what it is. And so, if they could not substantiate their claim, if they could not, prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, and in the wisdom of the tribunal, they ruled that they lack what it takes, the candidate,
okay,
for election.
Okay.
So if they were able to resolve it within that period, because it has a stipulated time of maybe 14 days or thereabout, if that was not resolved, then nobody can do anything, and the tribunal cannot rule otherwise.
Now, one thing that has so far come out of the tribunal, the tribunal across the state, is the fact that the tribunal judges seem to be insisting this has been done this way. There were no incompetent or no competent reasons given why some of the cases were thrown up. They were clear-cut, particularly inability of the petitioners to prove their case most of the time.
Yeah.
Now,
so that is it.
Now, that we arrive at this point, if you put all of the tribunal cases together, those who won, those who didn't win, and consider the fact that since we finished elections in March 2023, all we've been doing is tribunal. Is there a way we can begin to think of managing these issues to forestall these incessant trials?
Yeah, seriously.
Prosecution.
Yeah, seriously. Even when, the problem with our politicians is that they want to even try. Even when they know they lost.
Okay.
They want to try. Let it be that I fought this case, to the end. And let it be on record that I challenged the victory of my opponent. That is what they are doing. It's just an academic exercise. When you already know that you lost, and you lost very, very well, and you want to challenge, the cases. That is what is happening. Otherwise, most cases wouldn't go to tribunal. That is what is happening. Not all the cases are meant to go to the tribunal. But they want to see the extent to which they have fought. Tribunal say you have no right to cancel, votes. And the tribunal held and counted those.
Seriously decrying.
Yes, you can win. You still want to go further. It's crazy.
All right, we'll take a short break, everyone. When we come back, we're going to Ondo State because the larger communities protested yesterday. We don't know if they're still there over the ongoing impeachments of Deputy Governor Ayadatiwa. We'll have this conversation and more after the break.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Access to our money will move in the bank.
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
amazing.
Honorable you
On the point of order.
Honorable
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister at the Temple of Justice.
Access to our money will move in the bank.
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
On them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds. I am the
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister at the Temple of Justice.
Access to our money will move in the bank.
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
I'm going to have you back on 8 Open Conversation now. Let's get to Ondo State. The scores of a larger indigenes in a larger local government area of Ondo State stormed Akure, the state capital, in protest against the ongoing impeachment process on the Deputy Governor, Mr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa. The protesters who gathered in front of the entrance of the assembly gate, the group spokesperson said, this gathering is a gathering of sons and daughters of a larger land. Not only a larger, we have other sympathizers from Akure and Eshodo in Darren areas that have come together to protest against injustice and the battle that is going to erupt in Ondo State. The peace of Ondo State is being threatened by the actions of the Ondo State House of Assembly. Elijah has been without light for the past few days. The House of Assembly cannot pass a bill to quicken the authorities to make sure that there is light on Elijah land. The whole of Elijah land is about to be taken away by the ocean. Every part of Elijah is gone due to the oil exploitation in our area. And yet the Ondo Assembly cannot pass bill that will enhance the development in the community. For the past decade, an Elijah man had never been a deputy governor, but for the first time we have a deputy governor, and yet the power that be has vowed that he would not finish his tenure. Aketi Lucky mandate was given to both of them, and if Aketi is still the governor of Ondo State, our mandate as the deputy governor is still remains. They said any of the members of the House of Assembly from Elijah land that signs any motion of impeachment against Lucky Aiyedatiwa against Elijah mandate is on his own. The larger people will have not sent him to sign anything. They haven't told us that Lucky has done anything bad. The cabals have been together to say that Lucky beats his wife. And now they say it is gross misconduct. They would later say he wants Aketi, Akeredolu, to die. Did Agbola also want Aketi to die? Now, it is Lucky that wants Aketi to die. Anybody should not tamper with the mandate of Elijah. If you think you can chase Lucky, don't worry. We will pay you back next year in the same coin. However, no member of the House got to address the protesters, but the Akure area commander of the State Police Command, Mr. Nzota Chidi, advised the protesters to be peaceful in order not to be hijacked by miscreants. this is one conversation that you would wonder. I was reading this when I saw this. I said, okay, it's maybe they are now where they say they come to community, they don't have lights. Probably they've not listened to the news. They don't know what has been going on. But when he now said that he was accused of gross misconduct and how he said he wants Akeredolu to die, I'm like, okay, hold on. Your son, this is the end of the eve of their tenure. You've had the ocean trying to chase you away, creating erosions. You've had light problems.
I haven't done anything.
You never did anything to go to the House of Assembly. You even have House of Assembly members. You didn't go to say...
This is our problem.
Yes. Then a man who is an adult, healthy, conscious, enough to defend himself, whom you didn't commit a supposedly crime or alleged crime with, is being asked to defend yourself. A letter was written to him. There was a 300 million for this, 300 million for that. There was a misconduct by your staff against the governor of the state, which you did not handle. All you needed to do was answer the question. Yeah. Now, instead of these people to tell, what is going on here?
Now, you know, that
is serious like this.
That tells you the style of, political gimmicks by our politicians. Of course, it's becoming personal now from a larger people. And of course, these are cronies of the deputy governor. That is a hired crowd, if I may ask. It's a hired crowd. Yes. Because the constitution is clear on impeachment of a deputy governor or a governor. They have not constituted the panel. The chief judge has not constituted the panel. But the House just met, and they have not communicated him, which they have to do in 7 days. That 7 days has not expired, and he has gone to the court, not just state high court, but federal high court. Perhaps he feels that the state high court won't give him, justice, and that's why he went to the federal high court. But that is the House is saying this ought to get to you in 7 days' time. It's not in 7 days. Of course, he said he saw it in the media. Yeah, that's what he said. That he has not seen it. That's why he went to court. So and the House is saying 7 days has not expired. He
has seen it, but he has not received it.
Yes. He said he has not received it. He saw it in the media. And so he went to court. And now that he went to court, and the House is saying, look, 7 days has not elapsed. Allow the constitutional provision, the procedure, to be completed. When he has received, of course, that they also copy the chief judge, who is going to set out a panel to investigate him. And that panel has not been formed. So how come you are going ahead, to get court injunction to restrain them from performing their constitutional role? If you know you are clean, if you know you have not conducted yourself, there's no impeachment, there's nothing they have done, especially as a sitting governor. If this protest is to better problems of their people, then that would be a different thing altogether. But to say that they should allow him complete his tenure, but there are impeachable offenses that he has committed. And until he defends himself, no one can begin to say anything different. So his people should say, go and defend yourself. After you have not done well, if you're a deputy governor, there's no way we don't have light. If you're a deputy governor, we will not have ecological problems. So they should even be more angry than the people for not living up to expectations, for not bringing dividends of democracy to his people. So it is obvious that when you accuse, you go to the field, then you go to the panel, clear yourself of any wrongdoing. And that is where we take it from there.
It beats my imagination. And of course, we expect that the people of Ilaje should not be taking this side. Yes, because the truth of the matter is that they should be more concerned about the things that are supposed to have been done for them and not defending the deputy governor.
When there are constitutional provisions.
When there are constitutional provisions.
Yes.
But then, like you said, it looks like it, because this looks like an organized...
It's a rented crowd.
Yes.
That is not the entire people of Ilaje. Because you will see the chiefs, you see the elders, you will see the opinion leaders, and all of that. If this is actually, coming from Ilaje people. But you can't see, they're just children, they're just few persons who they put together went to the court and all of that. Of course, the Constitution is very clear on that. The court cannot stop the House of Assembly from performing their constitutional role. The court cannot rule otherwise. To say, no, don't perform your constitutional role, the court cannot
But he has also sent an injunction to stop the
But of course, if that happens, of course, but the House has the constitutional mandate to do what they are doing. So they will continue.
So the process should be sped up now.
Of course. It will. It will. And any decision arising from it cannot be stopped by any court.
Since it has been established
that
these and that are the gross misconduct.
Yeah, so the court will ask him to try and defend himself. As simple as that.
All right, so let's move on to the next one we have here. The national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, mocks Rabiu Kwankwaso as a serial loser. Ganduje spoke in Bauchi State at the reception of NNPP governorship candidate in the 2023 election. Haliru Dauda Jika, who formerly defected to the ruling APC at the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja on Wednesday, said, "When I got the news that you were coming to see me in my house to discuss the way forward, I knew I was meeting a very formidable politician in the person of Senator Jika, who is a household name in Bauchi State. He is returning to a party that is very progressive and focused. When we look at where he was coming from, he is coming from a party that used to be a decent party and highly respected, but was later hijacked and polluted by the Kwankwasia group. We are happy that the original NNPP is taking back its proper position and leaving the Kwankwasia group deserted and thrown out. Kano state governor was forced to go into a sabbatical leave for 8 years to govern. The Kwankwasia head who wears a red cap is a person who prefers to be a king in hell than be a PDP merged with the legacy parties to form the APC, stay there again. When he failed to pick the ticket, he still went on his own to contest the presidential poll and was defeated twice. He is a professional contestant for presidential elections and would remain a professional failure. He loves himself so much. I am happy you have done the red cap. It is a very sensible action that you have taken. On his part, Jika said, "My dumping NNPP for APC has nothing to do with the presidential candidate of NNPP. I have no issue with Kwankwaso. The interest of Bauchi State informed my returning back to APC." All of this tussle, all of this fight, all of these claims and trying to fight each other politically, there shouldn't be any reason. It shouldn't be a problem defecting from one party to the other. But now it has this playing out.
Yeah.
How do we address this?
Yeah, majorly, the way politics is played in this part of the world has been a very serious problem. In other climes of the world, you don't hear defection. You don't hear defection. And until we get it right, it is too bad. Because there's no political ideology that's making people to move. People are just moving in direction of hunger. Want, need is what is driving their movement from one party to the other. And that is because they own nothing. They are not into any capitalist exercise as done in other climes of the world. Politicians over there are people who are enterprising, who have companies, who have IOCs.
Yes.
They are made. They don't need money of the state. So if they are not in a party that has won election, they are very comfortable already. They are not hungry. They are not looking for money.
So there's no need for defection.
There's no need for defection. But the case here in Nigeria is that these are people who are, professional politicians.
But does the law have any provision that...
No, up to now, there's no law that prohibits anyone from defecting. Okay. So, and that is the problem. So we must get to a level where we must stop defection. So that state resources, if they are not in a place where they can tap, they can't survive. They'll begin to look for another opportunity where they can tap from. And that's what makes them to move. Mm-hmm. So for me, and that's why they call names.
Okay.
That's why they call names. They're not supposed to call names here.
Yes, yes.
So your movement does not... Why will you call names if what is moving is ideology? But here, they are moving because of persons who will connect them to state resources where they can begin to survive.
Yes.
That's what's happening in this part of the world. That is different from what democracy is abroad. So it's not the same way. And that is why our own is too parochial, too local, and of course, nobody can say it's nascent now. We have learned. It's no more nascent. It's matured. But our people are still behaving like babies in the political arena. So they have hijacked this thing. They have hijacked the political scene. And these are jobbers, political jobbers, who have to depend on political positions to survive. That is the case we have here. And they will never leave the scene. And when they leave, they bring their stooges. That is what is happening all over the place. And they cannot leave because if they leave, they bring their stooges who will ensure that they still continue to have those research resources for them to survive. That is the problem.
Now, sir, this continuing like this, is there any hope? Is there any hope for this country?
There is no hope.
Do we have hope for...
I don't want to sound like a prophet of doom, but there is no hope.
As long as the cycle continues?
There's no hope. If there's hope, there should be, the signs. There should be precursors, to us coming out from the woods. But there's nothing to see. It's still the same cycling of the same people. So that tells you, like I said, they're professional politicians. They must find where to link to so that they can continue to get state resources to survive. And that's what they are doing. They are there not because of your interest. They are there for their
successor is bringing now. We are not in a banana republic. We cannot continue to live in fear in our own state. A man who can't pay salaries, secure his people, has made Lokoja the worst state capital, is not fit to bring a candidate who will complicate Kogai's problems. The election is not what it is what you have. And markets, Kogaites have decided that all what they want is Motala Yakubu Ajaka. While responding, the Kogi State Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Famwo, said the issues raised, that is, allegations without proof are as good as no allegations. As a government...
in Kogi State has been quite impressive and all of that. And for him to say that Yaya Bello is intimidating, killing, causing, all this. So we have not, I'm not sure Kogi State has been in the spotlight recently of killings or political oppression or disruptions or issues. We have not heard anything in that direction. And so this accusation for me is frivolous, and we shouldn't even bother ourselves with it. If what you are saying is you cannot present facts and figures of the oppression arising from the power of incumbency has been alleged. So if there's nothing to show that what you are saying is correct, then we shouldn't bother ourselves with it. And there's no need to begin to attack the incumbent governor as somebody who wants to run an election or a party that wants to run an election.
The legal team is planning to file a motion to challenge President Bola Tinubu's plea for Chicago State University not to release privileged documents in his academic records. The special advisor to Atiku on public communications, Frank Shaibu, disclosed to newsmen that the legal team had up to 48 hours to respond to the motion in the U.S. court. Atiku had earlier secured an order for CSU, that's the Chicago State University, to make the president's academic records available to his legal team. Magistrate Jeffrey Gilbert had last week ordered Tinubu's alma mater to provide all relevant and non-privileged documents to the applicant within 2 days. Last week, as the deadline given by Gilbert drew nearer on Thursday, Tinubu's lawyers approached Maldonado, arguing that the earlier decision by Gilbert needed to be reviewed by a district judge. The request for a review and delay of the order till Monday was eventually granted by the U.S. district judge. Tinubu's application, filed by his lawyers, Oluwale Afolabi and Christopher Kamikael, advanced to reform the parties.
To get the academic record. And the last time I checked, I'm not sure Atiku paid the bills of Tinubu when he was a student to begin to ask for his records. The same thing happened to Trump, it happened to Bill Clinton, it happened to 3 other Americans. If you didn't pay my fees, you have no right to see my record. I don't understand where he's heading to. Of course, judges say that is not their business. That's not the reason why they set them up. They were set up to look at the results of the election, to know who won and who did not win.